During the period between 2008 and 2010, Ava Starr, who possessed the ability to phase through reality, was recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. and given a suit to help control her powers, earning the nickname Ghost. In Louisiana, the children Tandy Bowen and Tyrone Johnson suffered a near-death experience at the same time when a Roxxon energy platform exploded, granting them superpowers which were linked together and allowed them to save each other's lives. Though it was years before they understood their powers, Tandy gained the ability to channel Lightforce, while Tyrone used Darkforce. Initiating a secret S.H.I.E.L.D. program, Nick Fury and Phil Coulson began Project Tahiti, using the preserved corpse of a Kree alien to develop new medicines that might one day save the life of an Avenger. Unfortunately, while subjects were physically healed, they also lost their minds, and so it was decided they should be given new identities and have their memories erased. With Stark technology serving as a deterrent and creating a period of relative peace among the nations of the world, Iron Man was left to deal with smaller-scale violence, investigating the terrorist organization Ten Rings on missions to Africa and the Middle East. However, he soon learned that the Palladium core keeping him alive and powering the battlesuit was slowly poisoning him, and so began searching for a cure. Meanwhile, as Iron Man's ever-growing fame led him to be named Time Magazine's 2009 Person of the Year, American politicians and military leaders were upset that a private citizen had such powerful technology and refused to share it with the government, and so called Tony Stark before the Senate Armed Services Committee. During the meeting, Stark pointed out that no other company or nation in the world was anywhere near developing something like the Iron Man suit, and so this technology was best left in the hands of its creator, announcing that he'd successfully privatized world peace. Back home, Tony spent most of his time working on a cure for palladium poisoning, and so was unable to fulfill his duties to Stark Industries, naming his trusted colleague Pepper Potts as the new CEO. Believing that Iron Man might be a worthy candidate for the Avengers Initiative, S.H.I.E.L.D. sent Black Widow to spy on him, posing as his new personal assistant Natalie Rushman. While working at a soda bottle factory in Brazil, Bruce Banner made anonymous contact with the scientist Samuel Stearns, sending him a blood sample to help research his condition. Training to control his anger, Banner went 190 days without incident, until Thaddeus Ross learned his whereabouts and sent Emil Blonsky with an assault team. While being hunted, Banner transformed into the Hulk and went on a rampage, waking up sometime later in Guatemala, where he set out to reach Culver University in the hopes of furthering his research with original data from the Biotech Force Enhancement Project. While driving the Stark Industries race car in the Grand Prix de Monaco, Tony Stark was attacked by Ivan Vanko, who wore a harness that powered electrical whips, creating chaos all around them. However, Whiplash, as he became known, was ultimately defeated by Stark, wearing a portable Iron Man suit brought to him by Happy Hogan and Pepper Potts. Although Whiplash was taken into custody, he was broken out by Justin Hammer of Hammer Industries, a business rival of Tony Stark who wanted help in developing his own battlesuit technology. Far to the north in the Arctic, S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury and agent Phil Coulson were at last making progress in their search for Steve Rogers. However, their work was interrupted when Fury was contacted by the UN Security Council and told the funding for the Avengers Initiative was to be redirected towards researching the Tesseract as part of Project Pegasus, seeing it as a possible source of limitless energy. And so began Fury's big week, when the S.H.I.E.L.D. director, after ignoring the wishes of the Security Council, oversaw a number of momentous events happening simultaneously across America, which laid the foundation for the eventual success of the Avengers Initiative. Miserable because he could not find a cure for palladium poisoning, Stark got drunk at his birthday party and fought his friend James Rhodes, who stole the Mark II battlesuit, bringing it to the military for study. Afterwards, Tony met with Nick Fury, who revealed that Natalie Rushman was Black Widow, gave him medicine for his illness, and promised they were working on a cure. Tony was then attacked once more by Ivan Vanko during Stark Expo in New York, where he hijacked Hammer Industry drones. As Iron Man did his best to destroy them, he was joined by War Machine, who was James Rhodes wearing his own battle armor suit, and together they defeated Vanko, saving many lives, including that of a young Peter Parker, who wore an Iron Man mask and valiantly stood against one of the machines. In the end, Ivan Vanko was killed, while Justin Hammer was arrested, and with the battle won, Tony Stark expressed his feelings for Pepper Potts, beginning a relationship. On Asgard, King Odin, impressed by his son Thor's accomplishments as a warrior, felt ready to pass down the crown so he might enter Odin's sleep. However, the coronation was interrupted when a small group of frost giants infiltrated Odin's vault, trying to steal a powerful weapon known as the Casket of Ancient Winters. But the vault was protected by an Asgardian destroyer, who killed the intruders before they could escape. Disobeying his father's orders, Thor led his companions through the Bifrost to Jotunheim, where he confronted King Laufey of the Frost Giants, and fought a battle that ended only because of the arrival of Odin, who hoped to preserve the peace with Jotunheim. However, King Laufey informed him that was no longer possible, and so the Asgardians returned home to prepare for war. Furious with the unrepentant foolishness of his son, Odin realized Thor was not ready to be king, and so stripped him of his powers and banished him to Earth. Odin also sent the hammer Mjolnir, but enchanted it so it could only be wielded by one who was worthy. Arriving in New Mexico, Thor struggled with the loss of his powers, but even so proved a formidable warrior, able to defeat a number of trained shield agents at a compound where they studied the hammer which fell from the sky. Yet when Thor realized he could no longer lift Mjolnir, he lost all hope and allowed himself to be arrested. Loki then visited and told him their father died, meaning he was the new king of Asgard, and that peace with the Frost Giants was now dependent on Thor's continued exile to Earth. Devastated, Thor thanked his brother for the information and resigned himself to his fate. Wanting to learn more about the mysterious man, Coulson released him and tracked his movements, finding that he reconnected with Dr. Jane Foster and Dr. Erik Selvig, who originally found him when he first arrived on the planet. They were then joined by Lady Sif and the Warriors 3, loyal friends of Thor, who learned that Loki was behind the entire ordeal with the Frost Giants, having shown them how to enter Asgard undetected. Further, Loki lied about Odin's death, and instead seized the throne while their father was in Odin's sleep, and their mother was grief-stricken by his side. Wanting to eliminate the enemies of his rule, Loki sent the destroyer to Earth and attacked Thor, who refused to fight back, instead offering himself as a sacrifice in the hope he might save the others. Though he was then badly injured, his selflessness and humility were sensed by Mjolnir, which flew back and restored his powers, allowing Thor to defeat the destroyer, return to Asgard, and depose his usurper brother. Loki, meanwhile, worked with King Laufey to help the Frost Giants kill Odin and recover the Casket of Ancient Winters, but it was yet another deception, and Loki instead killed Laufey before using the Bifrost and Casket to destroy Jotunheim once and for all. To stop him, Thor broke apart the Bifrost Bridge with his hammer, and as a result, Loki fell into the abyss. Thor would have fallen as well, if not for Odin, who awoke from his slumber in time to rescue his son. Back on Earth at Culver University, Bruce Banner reunited with his former girlfriend Betty Ross, and was soon tracked down by Emil Blonsky, who injected himself with another version of the biotech enhancement serum, greatly increasing his physical capabilities. However, he was still no match for the Hulk and was defeated, leading Blonsky to work with Samuel Stearns, and take even more of the enhancement formula, turning him into a Hulk-like beast known as Abomination. Trashing the laboratory before escaping, Abomination and Hulk finally met in the Duel of Harlem, where Blonsky was again defeated and taken into S.H.I.E.L.D. custody. The scientist Samuel Stearns was also arrested, taken in by Black Widow after a drop of Bruce Banner's blood landed on an open wound, causing his head to grow large, greatly increasing his already impressive intellect. With enhanced beings causing so much conflict around the world, Tony Stark realized he could no longer handle world security on his own, and so joined S.H.I.E.L.D., as did Dr. Erik Selvig, who came on to study the Tesseract. Having made it through the chaos of Fury's big week, the S.H.I.E.L.D. director appeared once more before the World Security Council, where he explained the magnitude of everything that just occurred, and as a result, was approved for an increase in funding. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Tio the Iron Banker, Kristen Green Eyes of the Company of the Cat, First Spear Centurion Aditya Gaturu, and Amethyst Honeywine. If you'd like to help CivilizationEx, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to see more.